Hello, I'm Laurie Johnson from Leonardo's Children's Museum. Today, I am doing a new edition of Community Talk here with Da Vinci Day Camp Director Jamie Smith.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm excited about this.
Yes.
We are in the process of summer camp. We're registering. There's discounts available if you sign up before the end of the month. Why don't you tell us about the fun the children can have?
Well, camp is 8 weeks long this summer, and each week is a different theme.
Nice.
And during the different theme, the kids will do art, science, and STEM different times during the week, or whatever kind of goes with the theme.
Right.
Okay. So week number 1 is from June 4th through the 8th, and it's called Bodies in Motion.
Oh,
and
awesome.
Bodies in Motion is going to be a lot of dance. Okay.
Nice.
And I have someone coming in, and she's going to teach dance in the morning and the afternoon, so that if they come morning or afternoon, they'll both get it. And she's going to do a different type of dance every day.
Wow.
So not only are the kids going to be in their classroom learning from their teachers, but we're going to have some special guests this summer as well. And
Wow.
she's one of them, and she's going to come and do dance.
What type of, is it ballet? What are they?
Anything from hip hop to square dancing. She's going to do
Wow.
lots. Every day is a different type of one.
How exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun. I think that's going to be a great week. Week 2 is June 11th through the 15th, and it's the Magic Treehouse Week. And what we've done is we've decided on a different Magic Treehouse book every day. And if you're not familiar with Magic Treehouse books, they're very mysterious. These two kids, brother and sister, go on these adventures and different things like that. And we're going to learn about dinosaurs that week.
Oh, fun.
Weather, because there's a tornado twister book.
That's important.
We'll learn about lots of, just each book will have a different theme to it. And then I'll be reading from those chapter books during some downtimes, like snack and after lunch recess and things like that.
Those books are very popular.
They are.
When my children were little, they read them, and it's wonderful. Children today are still enjoying them.
Yes, they are great.
That'll be fun.
Okay, so week number 3 is June 18th through the 22nd, and it's called Health, Fitness, Food, and Fun. And I have a special guest coming in at that time also. She's going to do some yoga.
Oh,
and
fun.
so she's going to teach them some different yoga things, and we're also going to have a guest come in and teach them some age-appropriate cooking activities so that they can work together and cook together, and then hopefully be able to take something home with them. So the exercise part, the fun and things like that, the teachers are going to incorporate that in many different ways. So
that sounds like an awesome, and especially kids do need to learn how to cook, and it's not something that maybe even mom know all the great new recipes and such. So what a great opportunity.
And it's, you know, we're doing this pre-K through 5th grade. So all of the ages will have age-appropriate activities that they're going to be able to do in that week.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. Week number 4 is June 25th through the 29th, and it's called Da Vinci Creation Week, and focusing a lot more on art that week. Lots of different ways that you can do art and artist and different things like that. Create things that with things we already have, but many other ideas are coming out as we go to that week.
Fun.
So
that's a good one too.
Week 5 is July 2nd through the 6th. And in the last couple of years, we've only allowed certain age groups to come that week, but this year it's everybody. Everybody gets to sign up for that week. Remember that on July 4th that we will be closed, but we'll have our hometown celebration that day.
Of course.
So, but camp will run the other days of that week. And it's called 50 Great American States. And we're hoping to get some history in there, some science, some art, and teach them about everything from the Liberty Bell to the Statue of Liberty and about Oklahoma and things like that.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. So every week sounds even better. I think
I really am pleased with our things.
I think that the kids should sign up for the entire summer, because each week it's different, right?
Yeah, we do have some that do sign up for the whole summer. We have some that just come in the morning, which is 8:30 to 11:30.
Right.
Drop off can be at 7:45 if you have to go to work.
Right.
And then afternoon classes start at 11:30 or at 1:30, excuse me, 1:30 to 4:30, and then you have till 5:15 to pick up your kids.
Now the kids, if they stay the whole day, is this like spring break? They need to bring a sack lunch.
Yes,
but there's healthy snacks included, though.
Twice a day we have healthy snacks, and then if they stay all day, they'll need to bring a lunch sack.
Right, that sounds awesome.
So week number 6, July 9th through the 13th is Star Wars week.
Oh.
And not only are we going to just focus on Star Wars itself,
Right.
but space in general.
Yes.
And allow the kids to explore different avenues of art and science with space and Star Wars.
Oh, that's going to be a
I
hit.
have a teacher that I've already hired, and she has some amazing figurines that she buys. Her family's big Star Wars fan, and she's going to be bringing some of those and sharing and different things like that.
That's going to be that. I bet that's going to be very popular.
I think it will be. I think that'll be a really big week for us. Yeah.
especially with Comic-Con coming later in the summer.
Week number 7, July 16th through the 20th, holidays around the world, and we've chosen a different holiday for each day, ending with Friday is Christmas in July, Christmas
fun.
around the world in July, and so we're
fun.
going to talk about all different types of ways to celebrate Christmas. One of the other days we're going to talk about is how people celebrate their birthdays around the world. There's just every day is a different one, a different theme.
That's very educational.
Yeah.
I don't know how people celebrate in Australia or
Sure.
who knows?
Yeah.
Alaska.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and the kids will really enjoy it because it'll kind of each day will be something different, but it's around the same theme.
celebration.
Yeah. Week number 8, July 23rd through 27th, is Superhero Week. And this is the week that we are ending with so that we can lead into the Comic-Con that's coming to Enid. And so we're going to do all things superheroes, lots of fun and exciting activities and art projects
awesome.
and things like that. The teachers have a little bit of leeway. In 1 week, they might do 3 days of art and 1 day of science. They might do 2 days of science and 2 days of art and one just all around, whatever they think that they could fit in on the last day. Or they can do 4 days of science and 1 day of art. So it's changed a little bit to give them a little bit more freedom to kind of just make sure that the kids are learning the way that they should be learning.
Right. But it doesn't hurt to mention all our teachers are Oklahoma state certified teachers.
Yes, they are.
So this is high quality education.
Yes.
You're getting the best of the best here. I know you personally handpick the teachers.
I did interviews and then hired them after that. So yeah, and the teachers, they want to be there.
Of
They're
course.
excited, and the kids, they can feel that excitement. And so
Right.
when they come, they get excited to be there as well. And the day, as we start in the morning, some people have questions about this sometimes.
Right.
It's 7:45 to 8:30.
Right.
They're not just sitting around doing anything. They're allowed to go on the first floor of the museum and play in there with supervision. And then at the end of the day, from 4:30 to 5:15. Then we have some calm down time, and we do some things and wait for our parents to pick them up. At lunchtime, when they eat lunch at 11:30, about 12:10 or 12:15, they get to go outside to Adventure Quest, and they get to play and run and get their energy out. And depending on how hot it is, it depends on how long I let them stay out. But they're allowed to stay out until, and we take water, cold ice water out there with us. So if parents are worried about that, no need. We've got ice water out there for them.
We take care of our children,
That's
don't we?
right. That's right.
And the ages, again, this is as young as 4?
Pre-K.
Pre-K.
Pre-K up until 5th grade.
To 5th grade. So it really lots. And if you have multiple children, that will work as well.
Yes. Each class is divided pre-K, kindergarten, 1st and 2nd is together, and then 3rd, 4th, and 5th are together.
So it's not like small children are going to be competing with larger children.
No,
it's all appropriate.
It is very age appropriate. All the activities are age appropriate, and they don't duplicate morning and afternoon either. Whatever they've done in the morning, they will do something totally different in the afternoon. So if they do stay all day, then they're not missing,
different
or
thing.
they're not redoing what they already did.
And if they did multiple weeks, there's always something different. It's not the
Yes,
same every
that's
day,
right.
every week.
That's right.
So it's really a great help for parents here in local.
I think so too. It's very affordable. It's a great place to put your kids for the summer if you need a daycare or things like that. It's an alternative to that.
It is.
Remember, if you come before May 31st,
There is a discount.
There is a 10% discount still
And
until
that's a
May
savings.
31st.
People
It
that-
is.
Who doesn't want to save money?
I know. It's at this time, yeah, we need to.
And one of the things that you were talking about is Adventure Quest, and I think I better put this in. Our water table is open.
Yay!
This was something, it's a great gift that we feel that the children can enjoy on a nice hot day. Now, it's not swimming, you
Yes.
wear your regular clothes.
Right.
But let's describe it for people who might not be aware of it. So it comes from above,
Yeah.
and it channels down, and then there's an educational component because the children can do what they can.
They can build dams to build up the water.
Okay.
Then they can take them apart and see how the water
See how
flows
fast
down.
it goes.
There's boats, little boats in there, so you can see your boat going
Right.
through the maze.
Right.
There's just lots of different things you can do with it, not just splash in it and play in it. It's
Right.
not just a rectangular water table.
No.
It's really got a lot of
It
different
comes down.
features to it, so that they can really learn while they're playing.
And as a teacher, you're an Oklahoma State certified teacher as
Yes.
well. You understand that play can be educational
It
as well.
absolutely can. It absolutely can. And that's the most fabulous kind of play you can have.
Right, where
It
you're
is.
having fun. And that's something that's open now on warm days, weather permitting, that the water table is something you can do. But of course, if your kids are in Da Vinci Day Camp, you can, at lunchtime, if it's a nice day, not raining, they can play in the
Yep.
water table.
No, we don't allow water table during camp.
okay. Get
Just
that
because
clarification.
if they're soaking wet when they come in, they'll
Right.
be freezing cold in the air
That's
conditioner.
true.
So that is one spot that is off limits during camp.
During camp
But you
time.
can go, after camp
After
is over,
camp.
it's still open.
Right.
You can go on Saturdays and Sundays.
Right.
But just during camp, we prefer
I
they
see.
not play in the
That
water.
makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And just to let people know, it is not a water park. It's just an educational tool that people can
Right,
enjoy.
right.
So. And let's not forget, we have just a couple more weeks available for the education, the Weekend Wonders
Yes.
and the Art Quest. The 19th, May 19th is Art Quest, and that'll
Okay.
be the last Art Quest for the season.
All right.
And then the next weekend would be the Weekend Wonders, the science demo 11 and 2.
Okay, and so if you don't know what that is, it's free with your admission. You can come in on a Saturday, 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock, and then you will be able to do the art or the science activity that's available that day.
And again, this is teachers that are thinking of these things. It's
Yeah.
all about education and having fun.
Yes, Leonardo's is amazing at that.
Well, Jamie, thank you.
Thank you.
This is another edition of Community Talk. I'm Laurie Johnson. This is Jamie Smith for Leonardo's and Community Talk. Have an awesome day.
Hi, I'm Vicki Grants, and this is Jet, and we're with the Enid SPCA. And we are working really hard to make Enid a more humane community. Be sure and check us out on Community Talk.
Welcome back. My name is Kim Tinius, and I'm the audiologist out at Hedges Speech and Hearing Clinic. I am joined today by my fellow colleague, Charlene Wichert, who is a speech-language pathologist, and we're going to be just discussing different speech and hearing issues for you guys today. So Charlene, I get asked all the time what an audiologist is, and I tell them basically what I do is I work with hearing and I work with balance, and anywhere from cochlear implants to hearing aids to hearing protection. The question that most people are asking me, well, what does a speech-language pathologist do?
Well, we can do many things. We can work in the hospitals, we can work in clinics, we can work in schools, we can work in different settings. We can have a private practice. We can work with kids anywhere from infants to toddlers to school-age kids to adolescents to geriatric population. And we can work with any kind of disability dealing with articulation. It's how you talk and how you say your sounds, to the language, how you process things and how you can express your wants and your needs. And we work with kids with autism. We work with kids with medical needs like cerebral palsy and cleft palates. We can also work with people that have had traumatic brain injuries or people that have had strokes. And we can work with any kind of speech and language disabilities in between there. So we have a very vast variety that we can work with.
That's a huge umbrella.
It sure
is. Oh my
is.
goodness, wow.
It sure is.
Okay. Well, we go hand in hand on that whole audiology and speech-language pathology. So I'm like, wow, your realm is huge.
Right.
All right. Okay. So, just to let you know, between speech-language pathology and hearing, we have May. May is declared as Better Speech and Hearing Month. And a few weeks ago, Mr. Shuey, the mayor of Enid, gave a proclamation that Enid would declare Enid as National Better Speech and Hearing Month. So we are excited and celebrating that this month because that is where our professions are at and how we are encouraging people to embrace their hearing and their speech and just make it better as we can. So that's something I just wanted to make that note that, Better Speech and Hearing Month is May, and it's nationally. So
Yes,
pretty cool.
right.
All right, so I know we're going to be talking about speech and different things today. So why does a child need to have a hearing evaluation before speech evaluation that you're going to do? I mean, I can answer that, but why would they need that?
I feel it's very important to have a hearing, to rule out that they have good hearing. Every child, you can ask a parent and they can say, oh yes, my child hears very well, but can they truly hear the sounds that we're trying to get them to produce? We want to make sure that they don't have fluid in their ears, that they don't have what they call a conductive loss or a mixed loss or a sensory neural loss. And you could probably elaborate a little bit more on this area. But we want to make sure what they're hearing is the message that we're delivering to them so that when we get into therapy, they're actually hearing it the way we're delivering it so that we can teach them that way.
Okay.
And that way they can learn it the right way and not something that's maybe hearing it differently due to other issues.
Okay. I know when I diagnose hearing losses that I have kiddos that come in that do have those hearing losses like you just said, and I decide, can they further with that evaluation with you? So, it's very critical that we get that diagnosis and rule it out before we push on for that speech evaluation.
Absolutely, and it's very important that we get that ruled out first because it will affect the speech evaluation if they're not hearing things appropriately because we want them to be able to hear and give us the best way possible as to what we can get from their evaluation to know how to treat them the best way.
Okay. All right. Well, when should a parent be concerned about their child's speech development?
If they're not talking by the age of 18 months, 2 years of age, I think it's very important that they come to see us, even if it's just for a consultation or to see if they can't do a speech evaluation. One thing we need to do is first when we do the evaluation, we need to rule out that they can hear and there's no issues with the hearing. Once we can rule that out, then we do what we call a speech evaluation. We take them to the center, we test their speech, which is how they're able to say the sounds. Then we test their language. It's how well they can process the information we give them and how well they're able to give it back to us. If we find any deficits in those areas, then if it's age appropriate, we can give them suggestions to do at home to help develop those things. If it's more of a delay type of thing, then we can bring them in for speech therapy. At Hedges Speech and Hearing Center, we have the perfect setup. We have what we call an observation room.
Yeah.
The parents can sit in the observation room through a one-way mirror. They can see their child. The child can't see them watching them, but the parents can watch everything we do, and that way they can go home and reiterate everything we do in therapy, so that just gives them that extra bonus to be able to help their child at home.
Okay. Well, if a parent does have concerns about their kid's speech, what's the standard protocol for them to get speech services?
They just need to call Hedges Speech and Hearing Center, and we'll check their hearing and they'll check their speech. And then from there, we'll determine if it's a delay or if it's just something that they can try to correct at home. And and then if we determine that it is a delay, then we can set them up for services 1, 2, or 3 times a week.
Wow.
And then we'll work with whatever their needs may be at that time. And then we just target those areas and improve those areas.
Well, if a parent wants to help with different things at home, what can they do to help with their speech development of their child?
Right, that's a good question. I think a good thing to do would be talk to your children first of all. I mean, there's so many technology things out there that a lot of parents like to use, but that's not conversing with their kids. And the best thing to do is just to sit and converse with their kids, read books with their children, talk about things they see outside, play I Spy games, or talk about pictures, use lots of vocabulary with them just to be able to build that language so that they can start using that language that they hear on a daily basis.
Okay. Well, I know language building is very important. I mean, personally, with my child, I know that they told us to get in there and watch the speech pathologist and learn as much as you can and take it home and use it.
Right.
Because we wanted him to be successful and we wanted him to talk. Now, all he does is talk, and so now it's be quiet. But no, I'm just kidding. But that was one thing that they did tell me as a parent. My kid has a hearing loss, and we had to do a hearing evaluation first. And they said, hey, he has a hearing loss. We had to put hearing aids on him. and then we'll start doing the speech therapy. And
Right.
so I know very well that, as parents, we need to be engaged in our kids. And of course, back then we didn't have the phones and technology like we do now, where we're always on our phones and such. But I know that reading has helped his language, even though he's still speech delayed, but he's able to be intelligible. So
Right.
I think speech pathologists from the very get-go, and I'm in the profession because of a speech language pathologist saying to me, that your kid has a hearing loss, and I was just so intrigued with what she had for me to do and what my family has done. And so I wouldn't be where I am without being told, hey, learn it and then teach your kids.
Right.
So
Parents are a big part of our success. We can teach the kids how to do different things and teach them the correct way to do things, but without that practice at home,
Right.
it just slows our process down
Sure.
and the progress of the child down
Right.
because they just need that extra practice at home.
right, because summer's coming and you guys they're not in school, so they got to continue it before they get back to school again. So
Right.
I just think of the continuity that you have to have so they don't regress, right?
Right,
Okay.
right.
All right. Well, okay. So how long have you been in the profession? A few days?
Just a few, 23 years.
Okay, 20. Wow, that's awesome. So I know you've had lots of kids and all that good stuff. Is there one student that really just kind of stands out at you that has made an impact on you?
There really is. I had a little girl. I picked her up when she was very small,
Okay.
very little. She came to our center and she had cerebral palsy from a birth injury. And she did not have any modes of communication whatsoever. And our center helped her get an augmented communication device.
Wow.
And what that is when children cannot communicate or have a medical need that they cannot communicate, then we can get them a device that they can actually learn to use to communicate. They can push buttons and it will speak for them. And I think the most wonderful thing I heard was that after I've worked with her for several weeks, she came back and she told me that her daddy came in from the field working out harvesting. And he came in and he says, "How's my little girl?" And every parent wants to hear these 3 words from their child. And she hit 2 buttons. "I love you, Daddy."
Oh.
And that daddy just melted because that's the first time he's ever heard his child speak to him.
Right.
And she was probably, I would think maybe 6 or 8 at that time.
Awesome.
So he had gone so many years without even hearing those 3 words that
Yeah.
parents love to hear.
Right.
And we take a lot for granted when we have children that can't talk. So
Right.
that is just touched me so much to think, my children, I hear that on a daily basis, but
Right.
some parents don't
Right.
get that opportunity. And so if we can give those parents that opportunity, that just means a lot for them.
Right, to convey it. Oh, that's
Correct.
fabulous. I love that.
So
Okay.
how long have you been an audiologist?
I've been practicing since 2012, so a few years, not as long as you, of course, but I'm getting there. It seems like it. Years go by real fast. I've been with hearing loss and such and sign language and everything since 2003, but I live it every day and I love it. And I thought about, when I was thinking of asking you that question, I thought back to myself, has there been a person that's really made an impact on me as a child or an adult? The one thing I will say with my working with families, the impacts that I have, I get to see little babies to grow up on me, and I'm putting hearing aids on them and such. But I had a moment, and I spoke with you this morning about it. A mom, it wasn't my patient, it was somebody else's patient, but I was in the hallway, and the mom was running out the door, and I was like, oh, I go, where's she going? She's upset, she's crying. She runs out into the lobby, and I'm following her because I'm not sure what's going on.
Right.
And I go, hey, are you okay? And she says to me, "You don't understand." And she's shouting this at me, and I thought, oh my goodness, what's going on? She goes, "They just told me my son's profoundly deaf, and he can't hear. He's going to have a hearing aids and then a cochlear implant." And she's shouting at me, and she's just so angry. I shouted back at her, and I said, "I do understand. My baby is deaf too, and he's a little boy, and he's the same age as yours." And she got real quiet and came over to me and just started bawling. And we were hugging each other. We comforted each other. It was a moment that made an impact on me to know you know, we are going through this together.
Right. And it's
so-
probably comforting to those parents when you can tell your story, because
I do.
they will realize that they have somebody that they can confide in, and that truly understands their feelings and what they're going through. That helps.
It's great. It's great. I mean, you see it, and you have all your children out there, and you're out in Ringwood too, and all your kids, and so
Right.
it's very, very cool that we get to see these kids, and we see them grow up, and they do so well in life and everything. So, anywho. Well, our time is almost over, and we just want to thank you for allowing us to come here and share our stories, share our passion, and the information that we have to talk about speech and hearing and language as well, and all that with Better Speech and Hearing Month. We are out at Hedges Speech and Hearing Clinic out at 2615 East Randolph. We're out there by the colleges, and our phone number is 580-234-3734. If you need to call out there and come in, if we can help you out with your hearing and or speech or language concerns, go ahead and call out there. Our receptionist will answer any question you may have, and she's great. She can address all the insurance issues as well. We thank you for your time, and we've enjoyed it today, and we hope you have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tree Perkins with Youth and Family Services. We've got a lot of great programming and opportunities to serve your family at Youth and Family Services. Be sure and watch for us on Community Talk to learn about many of these great things that we can help you with.